Hello and welcome to 2K Sports. You're watching the NBA. Welcome to Wednesday night here in the NBA. It'll be the Chicago Bulls facing off against the Indiana Pacers. And now it's off to Indianapolis we go for the call by Kevin Harlan alongside analysts Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg.
And the players getting themselves into game mode with the tip-off just moments away. The Pacers look to take charge, and we're going to bring it to you here from Indianapolis, Indiana. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. One of the top caliber players we'll be watching, Luol Deng.
And guys, Deng has developed into a very good shooter, especially off spot-ups or maybe one-dribble pull-ups. He's got range. He's developed that out to the three-point line. But he really likes to go to that mid-range area. One or two dribbles into the paint, he'll rise up, shoot right over the top.
But you know what I like about him most, Steve? Deng is a very well-balanced player. He does a lot of good things offensively, but he's just as good at the defensive end. He's a big key to his team's tough defense.
Last game for the Pacers, they pick up the W against the Pistons in Detroit.
And I think, Kevin, it really showed how important it is to have a strong bench performance. You go out on the road, you can't rely on your starters night in and night out. The reserves have to contribute and help them out.
I think we definitely saw that, Steve, throughout the game. They were really tied together as a team. Didn't make any difference who was out on the floor. You'll take every road game win you can, and they're happy with that one. You know, in one of the more compelling postseason stories, the question about when the Bulls would bring Derrick Rose back just continued to hover around the playoffs. Ultimately, just never happened.
Just 4 to shoot. With the shot and the basket by Hill. Hill's got the first points on the scoreboard for the Pacers. Now Rose in the game against Philadelphia. Very impressive. Oh, and there's the alley-oop. And out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession. Well, back to the Bulls, and even without Rose, I think the team made a big statement, Steve, with how they played in the postseason. They showed that they weren't just a one-man show with Rose running things and have a solid core and system that will always compete.
Well, it's the second straight year that the Bulls have essentially been without Rose in their playoff run due to injury. And so I think Chicago fans are kind of wondering what exactly the roof is for this team, the ceiling, if you will. Let's hope that Rose stays healthy this year, so we'll find out.
That's a blocking foul, and he'll shoot free throws.
Well, Luol Deng, originally from South Sudan, his family moved to London when he was a teen, and then for him, going to the United States, a worldly player for sure, and he's been involved in a lot of causes, both here in the U.S. and internationally.
That's good from Deng. And going back to Deng, so active off the court, helping Sudanese refugees, Basketball Without Borders, numerous charities. He says his parents instilled him with that kind of thoughtfulness.
Yeah, and he's also championed a lot of causes in the UK, campaigning to maintain funding for the British national team. Deng is passionate, both on and off the court. You just love his approach to the game and to life, Kevin.
Good point. Hill with it. And Rose picks him up defensively. Scola passes to Hill. Shot clock at 5. From 18 feet away, again, Indiana. Just about 2 minutes into the game, first quarter of basketball. And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
I had a chance to catch up with Tom Thibodeau, and the conversation turned to how they plan to slow down Danny Granger. He said Danny's so tough because of his length, mobility, and shooting ability. You've got to play up and then try to surprise him with double teams. Make him a passer. Makes sense, Kevin. Back to you.
Thanks, Doris. And the first one drops.
Well, if the Pacers wanted to grab the attention of the league with their postseason play, they certainly did that. They marched through the first 2 rounds by knocking off the Hawks and the Knicks. And, boy, remember, they were a game away from the NBA Finals.
And Rose drops them both. Ultimately, the Pacers would fall to the Heat, but they put them to the test. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They gained respect league-wide even more than they had going into the playoffs. It took 7 games, Clark, and he saw them all, which a lot of folks didn't see coming.
I know that's the case, and yet the way the Pacers showed such grit in that series, it indicates they can compete with anybody. And when you have a defensive anchor like they do in Roy Hibbert, they've got a chance to be a championship team before long.
There it is, guys, that Olay defense. Just watching them go, Clark, right by.
I think we might be seeing which team is ready to take control of this game.
Yeah, that's a dunk that could absolutely get them going. I agree, Clark.
Granger with the bucket.
He shouldn't be afraid to take that shot more often. He's solid from there.
Outside Butler. Five on the clock. Launches a three. Can't hit. For Chicago, they won their last contest, that game against the 76ers in Philadelphia.
Seemed like they hit every big shot they had in that game. Kevin, their offense was clicking, but really clutch in big moments.
That's ideally the way you want it to unfold on the road, Steve. Don't even give the fans a chance to get into the game.
Now Rose, following the miss by Granger from deep. Butler dishes to Rose. Hits it from three-point range. Rose has got 5 points so far.
He's such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Tell you what, it's hard to argue with the record for Coach Tom Thibodeau of the Bulls, but the rumor mill has it that the front office hasn't been happy with how hard he's ridden his top players. Luol Deng missed time last season with a hamstring injury. Joakim Noah came down with plantar fasciitis. Hey, those things happen, and I'm not quite sure you could put that at the feet of Tom Thibodeau.
Now here's Boozer. 11 points for him in that last game against the 76ers in Philadelphia.
And he did some nice work on the boards too, Kevin. That was definitely a factor in that game as well.
Here's Hill after Carlos Boozer's score. Granger backing him down. Tipped away. It's stolen by Dang. Butler against Hill. Butler kicks to Rose. Rejected by Stevenson. Passes to Hibbert. And he drops it in from the low post. Hibbert's got his second bucket tonight. And going back to Tom Thibodeau and that minutes load on his stars, it seems it's getting harder for players to weather big minute speed these days.
I think it's going to be really interesting going forward to see this Bulls team this year and beyond. Will that wear them down? Their guys play too many minutes. They've had a lot of injuries. I think it's time to scale back a little bit on the minutes played.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Miami comes in for Roy Hibbert, and it's West in for Luis Scola. Now here is Hill. He had 19 points in the win against the Pistons in Detroit.
And they're beginning to fall apart a little bit defensively, especially inside.
Well, that's 4 straight buckets now at the rim.
Hill against Rose. Noah with a screen on Hill. Here's Rose. Shakes off the strong D and gets the bucket for 2. Rose has got 7 points in the game. So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game. And going against Chicago, their first meeting of the season.
Yeah, these were 2 of the top teams in the conference a year ago. And I'll tell you what, this club is really at their best in those games. The season series really belonged to them.
Indiana leading. You just can't overstate how important those matchups between the top conference teams are.
Well, there's always a lot at stake, Kevin. You want to get that good seed in the spring. Both these teams know every game is going to be a battle.
And these players think about that. They know about the seeding.
They sure do. They've got it in their mind.
I don't know what's happening to their defense. I mean, they don't have any effort, any purpose.
And it's really costing them. I mean, the last 5 baskets at that end have been on very easy looks.
Now here's Rose. Here's Boozer. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time.
Whatever their plan was defensively that time, it didn't work. Not if it results in that shot.
Hill kicks to Stevenson. And there's the feed to Granger. Hill. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
You know, last season, George Hill, really for the first time, was handed the keys to the team as the starting point guard for the Pacers and played the most minutes of his career and responded with his best season yet.
And the first one at the line is good. And going back to George Hill, great length and athleticism at the point guard position, defensive-minded guy. He really fits with the hard-nosed identity of this team. Wouldn't you say, Steve?
Yeah, I love George Hill. Offensively, he shoots with range, and he's able to slash and draw fouls. Excellent rebounder for the point guard position. And you mentioned the length. I mean, the wingspan for Hill allows him to guard both ones and twos in the backcourt.
Well, George Hill, one of those unique stories, playing with his hometown Indiana Pacers. He's a native of Indianapolis and Broad Ripple High School. Was drafted by the Spurs, played in their system for 3 years out in San Antonio, and was acquired by the Pacers in a draft day trade back in 2011, and it's worked out well for both teams.
The Bulls making a switch here. Heinrich's checked in. Here's Gibson. There's the dish to Rose. Pocket 6. Here's Muhammad. Solid defense there from Watson. And prior to last season, the Pacers signing George Hill to a 5-year, $40 million extension.
He's a good player, a really good combo guard, can shoot it well from distance, can run a team. Maybe not a traditional point guard, but somebody who can help you win. I think it was a good move for the Pacers.
Now here's Rose. After the miss from Watson, Rose passes to Butler. Back to Rose. There's the three. They get the rebound. And he draws body contact. Looked like a blocking foul, and he was in the shooting motion. So he'll head to the free throw line.
Well, the thing you love about Gibson is his energy and his length defensively. He's got those long arms. He can bounce. He can really get off the floor. And he's smart, so he anticipates things before they happen at that end of the court. One of the best front court defenders there is in the league.
Yeah, he really is. A lot of defense, his motivation, and Taj has never had a problem with that. If he has the mindset that he doesn't want you to score, and he can make things very difficult for you, whoever he is guarding, you know, that's when he is at his very best. Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Mike Dunleavy, he's checked in for Jimmy Butler, and it's Marcus Teague in for Derrick Rose.
Well, I tell you what, you consider all the injuries the Bulls had last year, and you look at the 34-18 mark against the Eastern Conference, and it's absolutely remarkable considering what they had to go through personnel-wise.
Here's Teague, rejected by Copeland. Gibson against Johnson. Watson with it. 14 points from him the last game against the Pistons in Detroit. And back to the Bulls in the East. It wasn't just one guy who stepped in the shoes of Rose or that had part Asha. It really was a group effort.
You know, you looked at the roster last year, you kind of scratch your head and you go, how is this team going to get to the second round without Derrick Rose? But they did it with a group of role players, with a front line that was tough and nasty and rebounded well, and with great coaching, too.
The free throw is off from Gibson.
You know, in order to win your division, you have to be able to win games against the rest of your conference, and that's exactly what Indiana did last season. Tough team in a tough division, and they gave no ground to other teams in the East.
So it's the Pacers now. They trail by 1. Kicks to Copeland. Pass to Johnson. He feeds it to Watson. 4 on the clock. From deep. Heinrich with the rebound. And the Pacers, as you mentioned, Clark, very solid against the other teams in the East as they would cruise to a 31-20 record against the rest of the conference.
And really, that's because this team is built to handle anything that's thrown at them. Given it's a big, strong, kind of old-school team. They'll pound you inside, they rebound, they protect the paint. There aren't a lot of matchups that seem to bother this team.
Copeland, good.
Both teams on fire right from the opening tip.
Pedal to the throttle, Steve, just like we like it.
Heinrich, right side. He dishes it to Dunlap. It's rebounded by Mahinmi. Indiana's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Copeland dishes to Watson. Johnson. Johnson right side. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
People have talked about the defensive renaissance in Chicago as a big part of their turnaround, and that's accurate. Bibbs has done wonders for this team defensively, but another aspect is that they've had one of the deepest benches in the league the past few years, too.
That's good from Johnson. Go back to what you said, Clark, about Chicago. It is a credit to them that they've been able to constantly add or draft talent that is ready to step in for them. And Steve contribute off the bench.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You think about Taj Gibson, a late first-round pick. Jimmy Butler last year really emerged as one of the best young players in the league. Great story. So terrific job by the Bulls front office in figuring out which player to take later in the first round.
Now here's Teague. Feeds to Dunlap. Heinrich a screen on Hill. And that one's good.
They can't afford to give him that kind of look.
Well, it came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you got to fight over the top of that.
Here is Watson. Now the pass to Johnson. He kicks to Hill. Back to Johnson. Dishes it to Watson. Some nice passing here by Indiana. Here's West. Johnson takes a 3. Rebound by Vesely. 35 seconds left in the first. Teague kicks to Heinrich. They double him with West. Vesely inside. He's guarded by Hill. A nice shot by Vesely. There's 21 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Here is Watson. West kicks to Johnson. Passes it to Watson. Back to Johnson. Indiana again missing. At the end of one, a closely contested game so far.
Next Monday night, November 11th, Kyrie Irving and the Cleveland Cavaliers go on the road to battle the Chicago Bulls. Make sure to catch him.
Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Bulls.
They're making a concerted effort to get to the free throw line in the first half, guys. They're cashing in.
You know, we've seen them bearing their fair share of mid-range jumpers tonight, too. I mean, that's a good start for them.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor. All fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. On the court for Indiana. Watson out there with Orlando Johnson. Then there's Hill. Then it's Roy Hibbert. And it's Scola in at the power forward position. Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Guys, Roy Hibbert, a big key for the Pacers defense. Coach Vogel said, quote, he's the best in the league at earning no calls at the rim. That's where he's grown the most over the last 4 years. Put the back of your hands on the front of the rim. If you're in the charge circle and not on the ground, you can earn a no call. Kevin, it's all about staying vertical. You don't always have to block a shot to make guys miss.
Credit him for continuing to work. Thanks, Doris. And we played through the first minute here in the second. Kept alive. Hibbert. And the layup's good off the glass. Hibbert's got 6.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, it sure has, Clark. I mean, with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, they really haven't had to do much on the perimeter.
Muhammad with a screen on Johnson. Pass to Muhammad. Clock is at 3. And he's knocked off course by the D. The foul called. He'll shoot free throws. They get Luis Scola.
It was certainly a slow start to the season for the Pacers. Their veteran and leading scorer, Danny Granger, was on the shelf with a knee injury, but somehow this team found its identity around defense and the emergence of some younger players that may serve them well going forward. You get Danny Granger back with the young, emerging talent, this team should contend for a while.
Both free throws good for Muhammad. And Granger was able to come back for them for a stretch during the regular season, but eventually had to once again miss the rest of the games. But the team had grown to where, you know, that probably didn't derail them as it might have, Steve, in the past.
Well, the big thing with the Pacers, Kevin, is that they have a lot of depth now across the roster. And with the emergence of Paul George, who kind of took Granger's spot, they were able to move on pretty well without him.
A nice shot by Teague, and the Bulls lead by 4.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Yeah, they've been the aggressors, Clark, and getting the ball inside into that lane area has been huge for them.
And it's Hibbert missing.
And, you know, you talk about Frank Vogel, guys, and the Pacers. It seemed he won over his roster from the moment he took over. He placed a lot of confidence and trust in his players, and most importantly, brought a breath of positivity and positive energy to that locker room and to that team.
Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Chicago. Boozer comes in for Vessel. Second quarter of play with almost 3 minutes gone. Watson kicks to Hibbert. Hill. Now the feed to Granger. Just 5 to shoot. It's stolen. Left side Boozer. And the shot falls short this time. And back to Vogel, he really helped instill the identity of this Pacers team of toughness and defense, and Steve, that willingness to battle.
Yeah, it's a perfect fit with their personnel. The way he motivates this team to defend and play with that edge. I just love this group. It's the Pacers team, the talent along with Frank Vogel. Just a really nice fit.
The D on him has to be airtight, guys. You got to get into his airspace, and that was far from it.
The Pacers shooting their 5th attempt at the line in the game.
And you look at the numbers from a year ago, guys, this is a club that hit about 75% of its free throws.
Bulls had won the Central each of the last 2 seasons, but were unable to make it 3 in a row as the Pacers grabbed the Central Division title last season. Still, considering the injuries, the Bulls had a good run.
It's hauled in by Watson. Indiana trailing here. They'll be playing host to Toronto for the next one. And that game is the second of 2 straight at home. Hill passes to Watson. Now the dish to Hibbert. Kicks it to Stevenson. Pass to Watson. Indiana moving it around. The drive by Granger. Here's Stevenson. And no good. Had a chance to take the lead. And back to the Bulls. They went 9-7 in division last year, Steve, and kept pace with the Pacers for a while for the title, but never could really close the gap.
Seems like the Bulls are always in the mix for the Central Division title. And since the realignment in 2004, the Bulls have never finished in the bottom of this division, and more often than not, they're in one of the top 2 spots.
Watson's shot is off.
He got the shot he wanted off that pick, just couldn't get it to fall.
But, Steve, they'll take that play all day long, 10 times out of 10. That was good action.
He feeds it to Boozer. He passes to Teague. Chicago needs to get off a shot here. Gets it to go. And it's a 5-point Bulls lead. And the Pacers with possession here. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
Watson gets a screen from Hibbert. Good on the triple.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago.
You know, it had been a while since the Pacers were able to win their division. Matter of fact, the last time it happened was the season right before the NBA realigned the divisions to their current state back in 2004. But they were able to raise another banner last season. Well, we've got a moment to look back at last year's Bulls. 8th in rebounding, 8th in assists, and they were top 10 in free throw percentage. That's always helpful in winning games.
And what stands out to me, Clark, with what you just talked about is the rebounds, because this is a very physical team. They like to try to bully their opponent at both ends of the floor. On the defensive glass, they were excellent, and then offensively on missed shots, they really got after it and tried to get second chance points.
5 to shoot. Hill drives in. Bulls making a switch here. Now Stevenson. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Pistons in Detroit.
Put in a lot of good work on the boards. That helped him, too.
Hill dishes to Granger. Hibbert with a screen for Granger. He nails it. He will tie it up. Granger's got 5 points now this quarter. For Chicago, they've gone 4 of 7 from the field in this second quarter so far.
You know, when Danny Granger was out with injury last season, he saw that the Pacers team had become really Paul George's and Roy Hibbert's team as they became the new faces. While some would throw a fit about it, Granger said he was proud of them and happy to take a lesser role. He just wants to get back out there.
And Butler gets it to go.
Good job creating just enough space to let that one fly.
For Indiana, they've gotten exactly half their shots to go down here in the second, 5 of 10. And Stevenson kicks to Granger. He dishes it to Hibbert. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Hibbert's got 8. And when Granger is healthy, Steve, he's certainly a great player.
Well, you love his versatility, his ability to play both ends of the floor. A tough defender who can guard multiple positions. Offensively, he can put it on the floor, get to the rim. He's got three-point range. But really an excellent all-around player.
Now, here's Stevenson, guarded closely. Hill passes to Copeland. Hibbert with the screen. Copeland can't hit. Chicago's gone 1 of 2 on three-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Heinrich kicks it to Noah. Butler feeds it to Boozer. Bulls moving the ball around. The basket counts and 1. They'll go to the line with a chance to make it a three-point play.
Jimmy Butler was the last pick of the first round back in 2011 by the Bulls. And last season, I tell you what, he really solidified his place in the rotation, guys. He's still developing his outside shot, but he brings an awful lot to light to the table.
And for Jimmy Butler, what a story. Abandoned as a child, bounced around from home to home. One coach would take him in, another family would take him in. It was a very tough upbringing down in the Houston area. He overcame tremendous odds. And to be where he is today with the great attitude after a short time at Marquette, it speaks volumes of his character.
Well, it sure shows in his play, doesn't it? I mean, just the way he hustles and draws fouls, rebounds, defends. He can guard multiple positions out there. You just love his overall game and his toughness and what he brings to this team.
Rose, no good. Pacers trail by 4. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
Hill gets a screen from Granger. Hill kicks to Copeland. Shot clock at 6. Granger drives in. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Well, Danny Granger played only portions of 5 games last season, guys, and basically was trying to overcome a torn patella tendon in his left knee. Had to be terribly frustrating for him.
The free throw drops for Granger. And a long road back for Danny Granger.
Yeah, I know the frustration dealing with a lot of knee issues of my own in my career. It's difficult when you have to face that year after year. Hopefully Granger will be able to come back and maintain it, or regain, I should say, that all-star form that he once showed. He could be a huge addition to this Pacer team.
Oh my God, a team right on the cusp on this.
Here in the second quarter, they've made all of their shots from the foul line. And that's a must-do when you're down.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Gentlemen, last season it seemed there was a little back and forth between head coach Tom Thibodeau and the Bulls front office regarding the big minutes he gave his starters. Thibodeau said, quote, "It's never the right amount of minutes. That's the only thing I know. If a guy's not playing big minutes, it's not enough minutes. Then if a guy's playing big minutes, it's too many minutes. So you play to win. That's the whole thing. And when you're a young team, guys can handle minutes. But guys, both Dang and Noah missed significant time. Noah only playing 66 games in the regular season. Dang out through the last 7 games of the playoffs. You wonder if maybe they have a point."
They've worked to round out the roster. That should help those minutes stay down. No good. Chicago leading. Looking ahead, they've got the Jazz coming into town for the next game. That game marks the first half of a quick 2-game homestand.
You know, some really good games going on today, guys, and the one that captures my eye is the Utah one.
Here's Rose. Here's Noah. Gets it to go. And the Bulls lead by 4.
Did you see the defense get caught standing around that time, giving up an easy second chance bucket?
Simply need more of an effort on the boards there, Steve.
And there's the pass to Granger. And Noah with the block. And here's Hill for 3. Shot's good. Hill's got 9.
Well, you can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
Noah with the screen on Hill. Double team on Rose. He kicks to Butler. Dishes to Noah. And so it looks like the Bulls will retain possession here. And let's go to the 2K leaderboard to see the teams that blocked the most shots in the NBA last year. The Pacers 4th.
I don't think you can ever underestimate the effect that a few block shots can have on your opponent. I mean, it can get into your head as an offensive player. You're going in there thinking you've got a clear path, and then you see the ball going behind you in reverse. I mean, that can be major intimidation and affect your game.
And another foul would give him 3 before the half, something to keep our eyes on.
David West, he's checked in for Indiana. Gibson setting a pick for Noah. Rose goes in. 6 on the shot clock. He drains it as the shot clock ticks down. Rose has got 11.
You know, of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is major smash mouth basketball, guys.
Love it. Old school. Just physical play in the paint. Dominate.
Hill kicks to Granger. Indiana needs to get a shot off. Fires from deep. Hill, no good. Chicago leading by 3. Butler dishes to Rose. Butler is screen on Hill. Rose goes in. Noah kicks to Rose. That doesn't go either for Rose. Second quarter ends in a tight one. Bulls lead by 3. We'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Halftime in the Hoosier State in a close one. Welcome, fans. I'm Damon Bruce. The Bulls have been rolling along. A losing record for them in this early NBA season. They'll try to battle back with a win here. The game's top scorer, Derrick Rose. At the break, 11 points, and also helped out with 2 rebounds. And slugging it out so far, the Indiana Pacers. Tenacious offensive rebounding. Their second chance points are piling up. Danny Granger off to a good start. He's got 9 points and has been grabbing a few rebounds too. And to look at the games being played right now. It's a close game for the 76ers going up against the Washington Wizards. Second half of play, still anybody's game. And another one also in progress. At AT&T Center, the Spurs are trailing to Phoenix. Chasing at the moment, they're down 10 points in the second. And to look now at the rest of the action from around the NBA. The Toronto Raptors are trailing the Bobcats out in Charlotte. Second half of basketball just getting started for them. That's it for us here in the studio. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far.
Looking at the game Rose has been having, he's got 11 points, and he's put 1 3-pointer on the board.
Going forward, I think it'd be a good idea to let him spend a little more time behind the arc. He looks like he has a nice touch from out there.
So for Chicago right now, on the wings, Butler and Dang. Up front, Boozer and Noah. And it's Rose in at the 1.
You know, as the Bulls have been one of the tougher teams the last few seasons, they've done it through dominating the glass and tough defense. Had some injuries to deal with last year, but at the core, this is a defensive-minded team. That's why they're always competitive.
Drops in the tray. Rose has got the first field goal of the second half for Chicago.
And that kind of defense is just not going to cut it, guys. They have to get a hand in his face.
Hill kicks to Granger. Pass to Scola. Hits the jumper. Scola's got 6 points. And the Bulls in the top 5 in offensive rebound rate last season.
Yeah, for a team that struggled to produce points with Derrick Rose out the entire season, those extra possessions are just so valuable. And it's no surprise, really, the way this team hits the boards. Tom Thibodeau always getting peak effort out of his guys.
Well, now they're just going to town on it.
Yeah, you'd think these defenders would have done a little more to put a stop to that stuff, Kevin, but so far, no go.
Well, a phenomenal aerial assault there, fellas.
Count that one. He's got 8.
That's the kind of aggressive and assertive play they need as we get closer and closer to crunch time.
No question. Pound it into the painted area and continue to put pressure on that defense.
And the basket by Rose.
Up and in on every one of their first 3 shots to start the second half.
Pacers trail by 6. Outside Hill. The feed now to Stevenson. Granger passes to Hibbert. Takes the turnaround Jay. And again, it's Indiana converting.
And their offense is flowing. It's clicking right now at the beginning of the second half. They've made 3 of their first 4 attempts.
Dang against Granger. Dang dishes to Noah. Broke loose. Rose attacking. Goes up to the stripe. Shot is off. Excellent D there from Hill.
Now still a great start to the half after hitting their first 3, even before that miss.
Pass to Scola. Stevenson. Scola kicks to Hill. On the wing, Granger. And again, it's Indiana.
And it feels like the energy was just picked up big time here. And both teams now feeding off each other's intensity.
I don't know what was said in the locker rooms at halftime, Steve, but it's obvious both sides have responded well.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over.
Yeah, he definitely saw some things that were not working for them out there. And now he's going to make some adjustments.
I'm not sure what it was, but he clearly wanted something to change out there.
For Chicago, they've gone 3 of 4 so far in the third quarter from the field. Pretty good start to the half. Butler passes to Rose. Rose off the pick from Boozer. 6 to shoot. Rose kicks to Butler. Not 3 off the mark.
Kind of rare to see him come up empty on a wide open look.
Boozer with the screen for Rose. Dang attacking Butler. The dish to Noah. Tries again. And the rebound goes to the Pacers. Hibbert's got his 3rd rebound tonight.
When Hibbert came into the league, guys, everybody assumed he'd be a project, and that's been accurate. But projects can pay off, and to have a player with his size and work ethic and skill is a huge payday for the Pacers.
And going back to Hibbert, and Clark, you mentioned this, looked at as a project when he came in, taken with the 17th pick, Steve, back in 08, and a draft that you were involved with Phoenix.
Well, we took Robin Lopez at 14 because he just had much better mobility athletically. We were shocked that Hibbert could eventually develop the kind of speed and lateral quickness that he's done. So pretty impressive that he's put all this work in and defied his critics.
Butler with the ball, now defended by Stevenson. Butler dishes to Boozer, kicks it to Rose. Shot to stop the drought. Excellent D there from Hill.
That's not an opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Stevenson passes to Hill. West setting the pick for Hill. He feeds it to Stevenson. Granger kicks to Stevenson. Back to Granger. Hill, a screen on Gibson. Here's Granger. Here's West, and he makes good on the way. West has got his 2nd basket of the night.
Giving them an opportunity at second chance points with some hard work on the glass there.
Chicago calls timeout.
Oh, you got to love the season from David West last year, coming off the ACL tear back in 2011. I think he's completely back as far as that injury is concerned. He was so good last year, particularly in the playoffs.
How about a look at the Pacers and where they ranked in the NBA last season? 1st in rebounds, 4th in blocks. As far as free throw shooting as a team goes, not a strong suit. Top 20 in the league. A little bit of work to be done there.
But when you think about this club, the first thing that comes to mind is their ability to rebound the ball. Best in the league, so physical. They just pounded the glass, and that's how they tried to win games, just by being more physical than their opponents.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
Yeah, he's sensing this is a critical time in this game, guys.
And David West, Clark, the locker room leader for the Pacers last season, helped lead them all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and a guy I know that you greatly admire.
Oh, my goodness. Love the way he does his work. I call him Real Deal 21. There's nothing fluffy about what he gets done, and he's so smart and so savvy in how he approaches the game, and really a lion in the locker room for the Pacers. That's why that team is so tough in many ways, particularly defensively.
Outside Hill. Pass to Mahimi. Johnson. He dishes it to Granger. Back to Johnson. It's good from long range. Johnson's got 5 points so far. Bulls trail by 4. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Butler off a pitch from Muhammad. Butler dishes to Dang. Feeds it to Rose. Shot clock at 6. Nice concentration to hit the double clutch layup. Rose has got 7 now in this quarter.
And I'll say this about him, Kevin. I mean, it looks like he's made of rubber sometimes because defenders just bounce off him when he's driving the lane. What a finisher.
And here's another thing about him, Steve. Every time he gets his hands on the ball in the backcourt, he's a one-man fast break.
Butler pass it to Rose. Muhammad with a screen on Johnson. He muscles it in through the contact, and they call the foul. He's on his way to the free throw line.
Well, this quarter has gone awfully well for him. It seems like every chance he's gotten, he's pretty much converted.
The Bulls have gone 9 of 10 from the line, so making the most of their chances.
And they averaged about 77% from the free throw line a year ago. So this is a solid free throw shooting team.
You know, Kevin, they would love to post a similar percentage again this season. I mean, I think that's safe to say they'd love to shoot free throws as well as they did a year ago.
Rose against Hill. There's the pass to Stevenson. With the lead pass. Can't get it to go. The Bulls have gone a solid 6 of 11 when shooting here in the third quarter. Shot denied. He kicks it to West. Blocked. And there's Derrick Rose on the assist by Dunleavy. And that's 23 points for Derrick Rose. And what's your take, guys, in the hustle steps for Chicago?
Contested shots and block shots. They're bread and butter defensively. They're giving up no easy looks.
And another area where they've done a great job tonight is forcing the issue defensively and getting some steals.
At this break in the action, we can show you the teams that had the most rebounds last season. Number 1, the Pacers.
Yeah, they had a really strong presence in the paint. Very physical, really dominated the lane area in terms of rebounding the basketball.
Clock at 6. Back to Johnson. Can they get it? And put it on the basket. Look it. Johnson's got 8 points. Chicago's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. This is to Dang. Dunleavy up top. 6 on the shot clock. Back to Dang. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation. And a chance now to check out the schedule for Indiana. They'll be playing host to Toronto for the next one. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand.
Well, you know, the fans out in Brooklyn desperately hoping for their team to win that one.
West to screen on Rose. And it's Hill penetrating. And it's blocked by Dang. Dunleavy kicks to Rose. Outside Butler. Back to Rose. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Gets it to go. Rose has got 14 points here in the second half.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. Defensively, the wind has just been knocked out of their sails.
Need to get more bodies committed down low.
Passes it to Johnson. There's the feed to Hibbert. Pulls it up. No good off the front iron.
Well, the shot was there for him, and he had to take it. I don't care if he didn't convert it. He's got to take that every time.
Gibson backs in. The kick out to Rose. Back to Gibson. Covered by Hibbert. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. And here's what the Chicago Bulls schedule is looking like. Looking ahead, they've got the Jazz coming into town for the next game. That'll be the first of 2 straight at home. The Bulls have shot 10 of 11 at the line. Nice work so far for them. And that one misses. And the Bulls making a change here. And he's good on the second. Pacers trail by 3. There's the dish to Stevenson. It's back to Hill. Johnson. Outside Hill. Back to Johnson. Just 5 on the clock. From downtown. Denied by Indiana. That's good. And that's 10 points for Luis Scola.
You know, down there in the low post is where you really want to create a lot of your offense.
Pass to Gibson. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time.
Great looking bounce pass to set up that play.
Indiana's gone into the three-point range 4 times since halftime and buried 2 of them. Hill kicks to Granger. Johnson outside. Indiana moving it around. From the arc, gets it to go. Johnson's got 9 points here in the second half.
Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him.
Rose dishes to Noah. Outside Butler. Outside Rose. For the 3. The putback. And it's Gibson finishing it off. And the Bulls lead by 2.
Tell you what, coaches love to see that kind of hustle, guys. I mean, getting after it on the offensive board, that's always a winning play.
Absolutely.
Now, coaches love to see the hustle, but the fans love to see the dunk.
That's an unusual, surprising miss for him. Typically, he's good on those inside.
Well, their pass it to Gibson. Outside Rose. Outside Butler. Kicks to Duncan. He feeds it to Rose. With a floater. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Yeah, the defender draped all over it.
Pretty plain and simple. Got him good there.
He is 3 for 3 from the free throw line.
You know, in their last game, guys, he was dialed in at the line.
Yeah, no question. I mean, it may have been the strongest part of his game that night.
The free throw drops for Rose. Bulls making a switch here. And Rose drops them both.
He's always been extremely reliable at the line, and today's been no different.
Granger outside. It's back to Hill. And here's West from the arc. The third quarter comes to a close. Bulls out front. They're up by 4. And we'll have the start of the fourth quarter for you as soon as we get back from this short break.
Tune in Monday, November 11th. Michael Conley and the Memphis Grizzlies go up against Paul George and the Indiana Pacers. Live from Indianapolis. Big-time hoops coming your way.
And we welcome you back. Glad to have you with us as more basketball is on the way. During the break, the players getting refueled with Gatorade. They're looking amped up and ready to get going once again. At the 1 and 2, George Hill and Lance Stevenson. Danny Granger out there with Scola. And it's West in at the 5 spot. That's the Pacers 5.
He can finish in the post. That's one thing we know about him.
Hill kicks to Granger. Scola sets a screen for Granger. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful.
He had his choice of finishing moves there, and you just got to love the fact he went old school with the finger roll.
Rose against Hill. Rose dishes to Noah. It's stolen by Hill. And oh, here we go with Hill. Nobody there. That drops.
Yeah, he didn't even bother to wait around for any help on that break.
That was a one-man job all the way, Steve. He knew what to do with it and when.
Rose goes in, and 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. They get Luis Scola.
Guys, Derrick Rose is a native son of Chicago, and he grew up in the dangerous Inglewood neighborhood, the youngest of 4 brothers. But from very early on, his talent for the game was apparent. And those older brothers of his, they shielded him and protected him like an ember of hope for the entire family. And he certainly has allowed his light to shine brightly.
And Clark, you know, back to Rose, the city of Chicago, as you expected, has embraced him. You know, it's interesting, Steve, to be a high pick, but drafted by your hometown team. The pressure is pretty interesting.
I love at the United Center when they introduce him, they just say, from Chicago, Derrick Rose. But, you know, with all the attention he gets, he's a very private and reserved person. Has a lot of respect amongst his teammates because he just handles himself with such class.
Here's Granger. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. About a minute and a half into the 4th quarter now. Chicago calls timeout. Let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Hi, guys. Over that break, I was able to catch the message Tom Thibodeau was giving to his team. He told his guys, listen, we've got to make the most of every opportunity right now. We can win this game, but it's all about making every single possession count. Guys, we'll see if they can come back.
Noah, the pass to Rose. Left side Rose. Butler. Right side Boozer. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
You know, to me, one reason why Carlos Boozer is such a valuable scorer is that he can hurt you in a multitude of ways inside. He can hit the rainbow jumper of his, and when he's back to the basket, can go over both shoulders very well.
No good on that one. And for Boozer, you remember the story. Growing up in Alaska, his dad tied his right hand to his waist so he'd have to develop his left, and that was something that he worked on even more when he went to Duke.
Well, yeah, his left hand is fantastic. I mean, that's his preferred hand when he's finishing around the rim. A right-handed jump shooter, but anything around the basket is usually his left. So he probably owes his dad a debt of gratitude for tying him up all the time.
That's one way to put it. Granger kicks it to West. Granger, he's covered by Dang. Pass to Stevenson. 6 to shoot. And out of bounds as Chicago gains possession.
A temporary lapse of focus from him on that turnover. It's embarrassing, but on occasion it does happen.
Luis Scola, he's checked in for Indiana. The Bulls leading by 3. Rose kicks to Dang. Back to Rose. And the call will be against George Hill. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Dang off the pick from Noah. He dishes it to Butler. Back to Rose for 3. And it's good. Rose has got 5 points in the quarter.
He has really punished these defenders today. No matter who's been on him, he's been giving them medicine.
Rose against Hill. Stevenson dishes to Scola. Shot clock at 6. That is good.
That was the 3rd straight high percentage look this defense has allowed. I mean, these defenders have got to start bumping bodies in the paint. Be more physical. Be more aggressive.
I agree, Clark, but it doesn't look like they have the will to do that at this moment.
Double team on Rose. It's stolen by Hill. Granger drives in. Butler with the block. Here's Dang. Again, Chicago. Well, if you're just tuning in, welcome. We've got about 3.5 minutes gone here in the 4th quarter. Hill kicks to Hibbert. It's back to Hill. So Hill gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Some good numbers for Hill. He has 11 points and 2 steals as well.
You know, he's been so good at both ends of the floor, guys, but what's impressed me the most is his offensive performance.
I don't know, Steve. I think the work he's done defensively has been pretty impressive, too.
The first one falls. He doesn't get the second one.
You know, guys, when Noah came out of Florida, most people viewed him as just an energy guy or a role player. But I tell you what, I always saw him as a highly skilled player. He could pass it, he could put it on the floor, was smart defensively. He's shown that he can anchor a defense, and he contributes double-doubles on a nightly basis. He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Hill passes to Granger. Feeds it to Stevenson. Outside Hill. 5 on the clock. The pass to Granger. Good. The assist goes to Hill. Hill's got his 4th assist in this one.
You know, for Noah Clark, as you were talking, not just an energy guy, but Steve, he's a good ball handler. And he's a really good passer, for one thing. You know, at the top of the circle, he's got a great view of the floor, and he really can find the guy.
Yeah, well, it's so important these days to be able to make plays off of screen and rolls for a big guy to be able to catch at the foul line off that drop pass and then either score or find another shooter on the perimeter. Noah is good as anybody at that.
Timeout called the Pacers.
And not to be overlooked about Luol Deng. He's one of the elite perimeter defenders in the NBA. He's got tremendous size and length, lateral quickness, and boy, does he play with tremendous effort and focus night in and night out. He's one of my favorite guys to watch work.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Carlos Boozer. He kicks it to Stevenson. Dishes it to Hill. Indiana moving the ball around. Hibbert, the pass to Granger. Offensive rebound. Here's Scola, and he banks in the layup.
Boy, has he picked it up in the second half. He's on fire.
Chicago leading by 5. You talk about Deng's effort and toughness. Easy to see why he's a favorite of Bulls coach Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, he guts it out. He plays through pain. Bad hamstring, torn ligaments in his wrist. Remember last year in the playoffs, he had the issue with the spinal tap. Just such a tough player and perfect fit for the Bulls. That's his comfort zone. So defensively, really nice job challenging the shot.
Granger, good.
You know, if you were only looking at the way he's played offensively, you'd think his team would be ahead.
Rose up on top. He's guarded by Hill, and it's Rose penetrating. And Scola pulls it down. Scola's got 5 rebounds tonight.
It's a great play under the boards for him. You know, that's the standard that he sets. It seems like all those second chance points, I mean, they're there for him game in, game out.
Scola, a screen on Rose. Granger from outside. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. Hill's got assist number 5 here tonight.
This quarter has brought out the best in him, fellas. Even though they're still trailing, he's been impossible to contain.
Deng with the screen for Butler. He passes to Gibson. The feed to Rose. The kick out to Deng. Clock at 4. A 3-ball. And out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession. For Indiana, they've gone 8 of 10 from the field here in the 4th quarter. Really getting it done. Gibson with the steal. Butler goes in, and the rebound goes to the Pacers. Stevenson dishes to Hibbert. Granger from outside, and that one's good. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back.
He's been unflappable here in the quarter. 6 for 8 shooting with some huge buckets.
Butler, he's guarded by Stevenson. Back to Rose. Gibson with the screen on Hill. Lock at 6. Rose, no good. Here's Indiana. They're on a 12-4 run right now. And Stevenson kicks to Hibbert. Outside Hill. Passes it to Stevenson. Granger fires the three. But they recover it. Scola passes to Granger. The dish to Hill. Kicks it to Stevenson. On the wing, Granger. Over Gibson. Granger misses.
That's one he knows he should have made.
Pass to Butler. Back to Rose. He feeds it to Butler. Outside Rose. Lets it go from deep. And the shot is good. Rose has got 10 points in the quarter.
He's finding all kinds of ways to get it done. What a quarter he's had.
Hill kicks to Granger. Tried to come right back with the three of his own, but it's no good. Rose dishes to Butler. Pass to Day. Feeds to Rose. The kick outside to Butler. And it's off the back rim. No good.
He's tried to get it going, but the shots just have not dropped for him today.
Granger with the ball. Now guarded by Gibson. Scola passes to Hill. On the wing, Granger. Lots of room. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. Hill's got 6 assists now in the game. Chicago calls timeout. The score is tied at 91. 1:56 left in the game. Carlos Boozer's checked in for the Bulls. On defense, Indiana. Here's Rose. And he was fouled on the way out. 2 free throws now for him. First free throw is good, and that gives them the lead. And he hits both free throws in. So now it's a 2-point ball game.
He's definitely the guy they want at the line in this situation. He loves these kinds of moments.
Time call here. Indiana decides to talk it over. They're down by 2. A minute 50 left in the fourth quarter. Hill kicks to Scola. He's working on Boozer. Outside Hill. He dishes it to Stevenson. Granger. Shot clock at 6. Steps back and drains the jump shot. Granger's got 32 points. And you can feel the crowd react as one.
Yeah, that shot got them out of their seats and off their hands.
Guys, they just exploded when it went down.
Rose against Hill. A finger roll finish at the bucket. 9 points for Carlos Boozer.
They haven't been as aggressive from outside as they were in the first half. They're playing smart with the lead. I like that. They're being very selective and deliberate in their offense. And that's a good strategy when you're on top.
Here's Scola, the offensive rebound. They shoot again. It's off his foot. And it's whistled a kick. Full 24-second shot clock. There's 45 seconds left in the fourth. Granger inside the line. He nails it. And we're tied up.
Ooh, a pressure basket right there.
Now that's coming through in the clutch.
On its way from Rose for two, and the vicious call over the back. A little too aggressive there.
Yeah, that was kind of clumsy looking. He was not going to get away with that.
He climbed all over him like he was on the ladder. I mean, that's an easy over-the-back call there.
The pass to Stevenson. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Hill dishes to Granger. Connects from downtown.
Kevin, they've still got a foul to give at this point.
Now, strategy wouldn't be bad. You use it here if they need to.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They're behind by 3. 16 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Rose goes in. Money! And what a sensational bucket to bring them within 1.
Boy, right now it's really tough to stop Rose.
And so they choose to intentionally foul.
Smart foul there. You got to try to extend the game.
Yeah, it's still close, but they're fighting that clock as much as the score right now.
He drops the first one, and that will put them up by 2. And so he drops them both. It's a 3-point game.
Absolutely massive free throw. That'll force them into a 3-point attempt.
Let's it go! A putback. Great positioning on the putback.
You got to love his position near the hoop, anticipating the play and getting the putback.
Timeout called the Pacers. Close game sees Indiana take this one. Well, they don't get much more exciting than that, Clark.
They sure don't. And when it was gut check time, this team kept their composure, kept their emotions in check, and got it done.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Danny Granger.
Yeah. It's been a ride. I guess I had to